Hi kids, another really quick video. I want to explain something important I think people need to know. And I've been putting it out on other social media, but I'm going to put it out now to those of you who actually get these videos so you can pass this on. Um, as I said, I think it was last week now, I sent the video that things are happening fast. Well, as we can all see, things are happening fast. Deaths are increasing exponentially. We're seeing now states that we're going to open, maybe not open, because remember, we're just in the first wave now. So now the first wave's really going to get going and things are going to get crazy. But the thing I want to tell you in this video that I think is important is how the virus kind of came onto the earth so people can get over the China thing. Um, I said this a while ago, and I've been saying it to my husband to the point he just wants to kill me at this. But the earth didn't just pick China to start it in. I originally thought that, and I told you I constantly have conversations going on every day with my spirit gang, and they're constantly telling me stuff, and if I think it's significant enough, then I relay it, and if it's just stuff that confirms what I thought or kind of goes along with other stuff, I don't, because I've already given a lot of information. I know a lot of people are very nervous because of the information I gave. But every once in a while, they tell me something that's pretty significant. And yesterday, the day before, they finally told me something that I had been saying now for a couple of weeks out loud, and I didn't know why. And so now I know because somebody was telling me the right information. What the Earth did was started the virus in numerous locations across the Earth. I mean, numerous, all over the world. And China was first noted because the population in China is so large and people are so on top of each other in that particular country that the spread took place like wildfire there as opposed to other places. And so it became known, of course, as the China virus, and everybody thinks it came from China and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I've been saying this for weeks and weeks, and I didn't know why. And finally, they told me this is why. Because what she did was she started in multiple places, and it just took off as it took off, just based on, geography and population and excuse me, weather and mitigation. Efforts made right away as opposed to not right away. So she was also being fair that way, and that I did not know in my last videos. So this is a new thing I think is important, so everybody gets over hating China. This virus was started in multiple places. I don't know how many places. I don't think it was started in every single country. I don't get that vibe, but it was started in multiple places, including the United States. And we just didn't know it because autopsies have not been done back far enough. And we are now going to start the United States. I think you've probably been reading, the United States is now, some of the states are starting to pull dead bodies from December to be autopsied because now they're all of a sudden thinking, oh my God, was this actually in this country sooner than we thought? And the answer is yes, because it was in all the countries at the same time in the beginning. I don't know exactly when. I don't know if it was November or December, but all the countries had this at the same time. China's just happened to be come to light first because it was so dramatic what happened in their population right away. But once again, it's just because, you've got a billion people on top of each other with no room. So, of course it's going to do that. But my point in all this is it was started in every country. So it means it was, well, not every. I think it was started in more of the bigger areas, and the United States would be one of those. So this is important because quit blaming another country. It actually started everywhere. Blame your president right now for what's happening in our country. And I think I said in my second video that our country exponentially is going to have a higher death rate, comparatively speaking, to our population. And it's all going to be based on Trump and his actions or lack thereof. And we're all seeing that now. I mean, even the hardest core Trumpsters that still had some thread of sanity aren't hardcore Trumpsters anymore. I mean, I've personally now know people just since the coronavirus started that aren't big Trump thumpers anymore. They're actually getting a little nervous that maybe all of this was bullshit and he's actually killing people. And he is actually killing people because, as you see, they're still stealing supplies from other states that are ordering them. They're still hijacking their supplies and crap. So now our own states have to hide supplies from the federal government, which is the craziest thing I think I've ever heard in my entire lifetime at 55 in our country, is states have to secretly buy supplies to save people in their own countries or in their own states, and they have to worry about the federal government hijacking it and stealing it. What the hell? But the other thing I told you in this last time when I said things are happening fast, not only is the death rate of the coronavirus just going to explode, and actually is exploding now, and I think many people are seeing that in their own states. So for those of you that are in states that think you're going to get by without anything, don't do that. There's no state's going to escape this. There's going to be states that do better than other states based on the governor, the response. Could they get supplies? Yada, yada, has half their, healthcare team died off yet? So every state's going to vary greatly in their personal death rate, but there's going to be a high death rate in every state. So get over thinking that you're safe at this point, and know that it actually started in our country as well as China and, like I said, the bigger countries. There's no doubt it was put everywhere just to be an equal opportunity killer. She was trying to be fair once again, and our country just took off a little slower. But watch, you're going to start seeing tons of articles about how they're going to find thousands and thousands of deaths in December from autopsies that were attributable to COVID-19, and I'm not sure that they're not going to find some in November. So we're not safe. Still stay in your home. Wear a mask if you got to go out. You crazy idiots who are going to the beaches and stuff. Honestly, you guys should be jailed and made to sit there until the coronavirus is over, which will be, 2 years before the two big surges are over. So people who do that shit should be penalized strongly for it. Don't go pushing your views, and I know these are my views, but I'm trying to save people. I'm not pushing my views of I want to go out and go against these quarantines and all that because it's my right. As long as you don't ever get near another human being, great, go do what you want. But then you can't get near anybody else because you may be a carrier and you don't know it, and you're infecting other people. So stay in your home. Still just as important now. Stay in your home. But no, that was the big thing I was just told a couple days ago, was it was actually started everywhere. And it was a relief, like I said, because I had been talking recently about, I just know this was not in China. I just had this weird thing. And then I felt relieved because I started seeing a few article here or there of, this autopsy showed in December, this person might have. And now today I finally saw an article that no, an autopsy showed somebody who died in December who was completely mislabeled for their death. It was actually COVID-19. So it's still unsafe. And for those of you like me who live in Iowa, where our governor is just reopened 77 of our counties, oh my God, she's going to live to regret that. And for all of you who live in states that the governors are doing this, those governors are going to so live to regret what they're doing, because so many more people are going to die. And I think I told you in the first or second video, just in our country alone, we're going to have millions of deaths. Millions of deaths. And I had people personally, I've had a lot of nice comments, by the way, and people have gotten hold of me personally. And so I've had lots of conversations with people because of these videos, which I really appreciate because people are paying attention. But that was one thing a lot of people had a hard time with, is when I said it's going to be in the millions. One person said, are you doing just that to be dramatic to get people to pay attention? And I'm like, oh no, I'm saying that to get people to pay attention, but it's actually true. And now that we're, at 67 today, and now we're seeing the rate of deaths speeding up daily. So, we're going to get to 3,000 deaths a day, then it's going to be 4,000 deaths a day. And so I think people are realistically realizing now it's going to be possible that there's going to be several million deaths in the United States. And there is. And that's just with the first wave. The first wave. So still stay in your homes if you can. If you got to go back to work at a place, you are allowed to make sure that those people have the proper personal protective equipment and whatever. Like in Iowa, they're pulling this bullshit where if your employer opens and you refuse to go back to work because you're scared, then you lose your unemployment, which is just the craziest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, but see, the employers then are supposed to guarantee to open certain things are in place, and if they're not in place, you don't have to go back. And if you don't go back, you can argue that with your unemployment, because your employer has to put certain things into place before you go back. So if you're one of those unlucky few that are caught in that conundrum, make sure you find out what your state regulations are, and that your employer is doing all that. And if you show up to work the first day that they tell you have to come back, and none of that's in place, then you turn around and you walk out and you say, I'm not quitting, but I am still choosing to work from home or stay at home until your mitigation things are in place for me to come back. So stand your ground. You got to stand your ground, because we all know there's going to be employers that don't do it. But as long as you can prove your employer isn't doing it, they can't keep unemployment from you. So I know it's scary times, people, but man, you still got to stay at home, because we're just in the beginning of the first wave. And like I said, I think that last video was a week ago when I said things are happening fast. Things are happening fast, and they're just going to speed up and speed up. And you're also seeing those crazy people with their guns storming capitals. We're going to see a lot of this stuff. And I'm telling you now, in the not too distant future, that's going to turn deadly. So if you can stay away from those crowds, if you want to be one of those heroic people, you know, we saw in Denver the people in the scrubs stopping the cars. And as a nurse, I would no more do that, because those people are so crazy. They would run me over or shoot me. So I think that's amazing those people did that. And I appreciate the message they were trying to send. But your life is not worth going to protesters who are being idiots. Your life's not worth that. Just let them be idiots, but don't go near them, because sooner or later somebody's going to shoot somebody. Somebody innocent's going to get shot out of all this wannabe tough guy bullshit that's going on. And don't get caught in that if you can possibly do it. That's what I'm saying. People are going to get crazier. Things are going to get crazier. So if you cannot leave your home, try not to leave your home. Okay, till the next video. If I hear another really important thing again, I'll let you know. But I just thought I think it's very important to defend China in this moment, even though China has obviously not been a good country to the United States or any other country in the world, honestly. I still think it's important that this is not blamed on China, and that everybody understands that this was just the Earth, and the Earth did it, and she did it everywhere. And so we can't start blaming the Chinese and closing all the Chinese restaurants and literally killing these people's livelihoods that came over to our country, like everybody who came over to our country to, opportunities and stuff. And their livelihoods are being ruined because people are thinking that if a Chinese person hands you food, you're going to get the coronavirus. Just know it was all over, and send this video to people who need to see that and know that this is not a Chinese thing. This is a all over across the world thing. It's to blame everywhere. Okay, send these videos to people who need to see them so they stay safe. Okay, all right. Till next time. Bye.